Great. We're live recording, but we're not live yet. So, okay,
No.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to stop. It's 12 now. I'm going to leave the meeting. Wait a few seconds because it could probably is still recording all of this. It's still like that. So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to hit go live.
Now it's connecting to LinkedIn.
Better. Hey, freaking better, Margarita. I feel like I'm hacking into something with
Now
it.
you go back to LinkedIn.
Oh. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Just the go live. One second. I'm just getting an error saying we'll go live. Hey, Margarita, can you hear me?
I can hear you. One
Okay.
second.
We just had a hit. Oops, something went wrong. We had trouble with your broadcast. Yeah. Do you want me to share screen?
Yeah, we are gonna have to do it again, the clicking on the URL, etc. That's what we are gonna have to do again, probably.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry for the technical.
No problem at all. It happens.
So we're here. Do we? Okay.
Okay. So I don't know, it should be. Well, I'm not in camera, but
1 second.
yeah, try again.
Let me just. I'll hit go live and we'll wait 5 seconds.
Sure.
Okay, hit go live. Okay, it's working. We'll just wait a few seconds and begin. Thanks for your patience. Brilliant. Thank you guys for joining me, and apologies for some of the early technical difficulties that we've had, but we've managed to get the stream back up and running. So welcome. Today's session is around innovative business, so the power of youth in driving economic and social change. Very timely, I think. My name is Dejan Markovic. I'm head of innovation at BYEAH. My role is relatively broad. It looks at how BYEAH operates as an organization, the methodologies and the technologies that we deploy to support our members and young entrepreneurs, and also member and young entrepreneur-facing programs, things like the Digital Accelerator, things like innovation training, design thinking training, and also developing programs like the bootcamp as well. We're now seeing how, it's really important to better support young entrepreneurs. We're seeing, how digitization and other transformative technologies such as AI are really disrupting and sort of shaping not only industries, but also entrepreneurship. And these changes are, I feel anyway, happening at an even greater pace than ones before. And they bring both challenges, but also opportunities. So young entrepreneurs need to be innovative to continue to solve the challenges that we all face globally. So across economic, geographic, and also social and sustainable lenses. I mentioned some of the things that we do already as an organization. So things like the digital accelerator that we offer for members. We're also looking at what does the digital accelerator look like for young entrepreneurs, for example. We provide training, as I mentioned, around, it can be soft skills, it could be mindset, it could be around innovation, but also we do things like webinars. So recently we ran a 3-webinar series around AI, looking at how do we as an organization sort of deploy AI, what does it mean for young entrepreneurs? And also worth mentioning, we've got the exciting upcoming Global Summit, and innovation will be a cross-cutting theme across the whole summit. There'll be a number of exciting sessions. I'll be running a session on AI, and there'll be others, for example, like innovation in access to finance. So again, a very timely and cross-cutting theme. And also I'd like to welcome and introduce our guests today. We've got Rashed Mamun, CEO of BYEAH, our Bangladesh member, and also Patricia Maina. I hope I'm pronouncing those names right. Please tell me if not. And Patricia is the Director of Partnerships at African Management Institute. Just a reminder to the audience, we will have some time for questions at the end, so please do write those down, and we'll get those towards the end of the session. So yeah, thanks guys, thanks for joining today. And I'd love to get your thoughts on, from your experience, what you think are the most exciting trends in AI, technology, digitization that young entrepreneurs should be aware of today. And shall we start with you, Patricia?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and good afternoon to everyone who's joining us on this live stream. Again, by introduction, my name is Patricia Maina, and I'm the Director of Partnerships at the African Management Institute. Just a quick brief of who we are as AMI. We are a tech-enabled organization where we provide tech-enabled learning solutions to entrepreneurs across the continent, and working with them to build the practices and business habits that will help them to build resilient and growing businesses. And we're based in Kenya, where we have our head office, and in 7 additional countries across the continent of Africa. So really excited about today's conversation, because it's an area where we're doing a lot of work, a lot of innovations coming up. And I would say when it comes to what's exciting around AI and technology and digitization and the trends we're seeing there, for us as a learning organization, we've seen that with AI, there's a lot of transformation that's going on with regards to content creation, writing code, being able to solve complex problems. And this is creating a lot of opportunities to scale the creative and technical work. So, and for us particularly, we've seen that we're able to leverage AI to be able to personalize what we're able to deliver to different participants, whether it's entrepreneurs or participants in other contexts. So for example, we're able to use AI to hyper-personalize the customer experience. And that's something that is becoming quite broad across all different sectors, not just ours, but being able to use data to then extrapolate and speak to very specific needs that arise from different users' perspectives, so that you're able to deliver learning that speaks specifically to their needs and that speaks to the gaps that they themselves are facing. And the other thing we're seeing is, I think, when it comes to just enhanced connectivity around 5G and the proliferation of 5G, which is allowing for a lot of faster and more efficient connectivity. And this is also allowing for the growth of things like autonomous vehicles that we're starting to see, smart cities, real-time application and very immersive experiences. And I would say those are some of the exciting trends that we're starting to see, but we'll hand over to Rashed and hear his perspective as well.
Thank you, Patricia. You have mentioned quite a few. So just before answering the questions or building upon the answer that Patricia gave, I'll just like to introduce myself briefly. So I'm Rashed. Currently, I'm leading Bangladesh Youth Enterprise Advice and Helpcentre. So we are a Bangladesh-based non-profit. So we help young people to start and scale their business. And we started with a mission to economically empower the underrepresented Bangladeshi women and youths. And right now, our sole vision is to make sure that the economic empowerment is a vehicle to create a just and prosperous society. So going back to the question, I just like to build upon where Patricia mentioned that AI or the latest trend of AI is just not our standard automation tool. We are like she was mentioning about AI being creating right content, graphics, and even code. So how I see the role of AI is that it is like having a super powered assistant that can help the entrepreneurs, everything from marketing a product to maintaining the supply chain, a lot of other relevant stuff. And another area that we have seen where AI have a very deep impact is the democratization of advanced technology. Like let's say cloud computing and as a service models, those are limited to high-tech startups. But right now, let's say if I am an under-resourced entrepreneur, I probably don't need that kind of massive IT department or resource to make sure that I take advantage of all those advanced technologies. So this is like creating a level playing field for entrepreneurs. And also what we have seen is that there are a lot of rise of no code or low code platforms. So this is totally game changer for non-technical founders, especially entrepreneurs coming from a under-resourced background. They don't have that kind of access to technology. So right now with these low code platforms, they can build websites and even AI models without being the coding wizard. So it is an opening up a tech entrepreneurship, I would say, new grounds for them. So lastly, what I believe the most exciting part is that AI and the whole change, it is working as an amplifier, and there are a lot of intersecting area. Let's say an young entrepreneur is using no-code platforms to build an AI-powered app, which they could deploy easily without having like massive understanding of the whole tech stack. So I believe there are a lot of exciting things like we are waiting to see unfold. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, both. I think it's really exciting, particularly to hear that democratization aspect, where something that was mainly accessible by big organizations that could buy in very expensive skill sets, consultants, and seeing that playing field potentially be more level. I sort of mentioned, opportunities and challenges at the beginning. I'd just love to hear from your perspectives. What do you think the sort of main opportunities are for young entrepreneurs, and also some of the challenges that they might face with some things that we've mentioned? Patricia, would you like to go first again?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I wasn't sure which one of us was going first. Yeah, no, I think there's the immense opportunities that this whole space is opening up, when it comes to, especially for the entrepreneurs who are innovative and willing to kind of, be ahead and lead the charge when it comes to just seeking out opportunities and the innovations. I think there's lots of opportunities when it comes to creating tools that when it comes to whether it's, for example, marketing content, I talk about content creation, or personalized customer interactions, things around creative design or educated content. And I think, speaking, I guess, first coming from the learning perspective, is there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to adaptive learning, because for example, with AI, you're able to develop AI-driven educational platforms, which can offer either customized learning pathways, which is something that we are increasingly doing at AMI, or the ability to provide virtual tutors where you don't have to, be very physical in a space. But as a young entrepreneur, you can, leverage some of the platforms that are out there to actually set up, say, a tutoring business, for example. And then there's, tools for educators to just be able to leverage their teaching methods that, you no longer have to go specifically to a classroom, but you can leverage the power of technology to actually build a business that you can even scale. And, I think in other opportunities, when I think about, this continent that we're on is also around like, healthcare, for example, how you can provide remote diagnostics and be able to provide whether it's through like telemedicine or, through health platforms, being able to digitize the offering that you're able to provide even treatment plans, through remote access, or doctors being able to assist and provide diagnosis for patients who may not necessarily physically be with them, but through technology, you're actually able to provide that. Or even when it comes to things around the creative arts, which is a space that we see a lot of young people drawn to. There's opportunities to generate music or art or videos, even literature, video games. So there's this opportunity for creatives to really enhance their creativity and automate some of the aspects even of their content production.
Yeah.
Whether it's just in using AI tools to generate videos or music. So I think there's lots of opportunities, and it's really upon the young person to seek out and be open to those opportunities, because it's like they say, it's like the world is your oyster. There's lots of opportunities that can be leveraged.
And what would you say would be like the main challenge that you see, like the biggest challenge?
Yeah, I would say I think the biggest challenge would really be around the accessibility and connectivity, the challenges that come around that, especially for young people who are either in marginalized communities, who may unfortunately be displaced and having to leave as either as migrants, and just not having access, or in very rural areas where the connectivity is a challenge, and so the ability for them to actually get online is very compromised. So I would say that is actually probably the biggest barrier or inhibitor. Or in areas where the connectivity is available, then sometimes the costs are prohibitive. And so I think there is an opportunity there for other innovations around how can the cost of connectivity be brought down, how can there be other opportunities to provide connectivity, especially in marginalized and very rural and remote areas.
Brilliant. Thanks, Patricia. And Rashed, I can give you a minute and a half to sort of, what are your top sort of 1-2 opportunities that you see, and also any challenges from your perspective?
Yeah, so for me, like the top 2 opportunities will be right now, young entrepreneurs have the global technology to solve the very local problems. Like those entrepreneurs who have a very deep understanding of the local problems, they are armed with different sets of technologies to solve those problems. This is one thing. And since we work closely with different set of impact entrepreneurs right now, we see a lot of tech entrepreneurs who have that mindset to use technology for good. So this is sort of a blessing for them. And once we talk about the challenges, I guess I totally agree with Patricia. The accessibility challenge is the most important one. Apart from that, two other areas that I believe we should immediately focus. First of all, is the skills gap, because the whole AI and the related field, this is changing so fast that we should be able to keep up with this change. But for entrepreneurs, without any outside support, like outside support as in support from the organization like ours, it is very difficult for them to close this skills gap. And another big challenge is that, let's say if I am a entrepreneur from a developing market, it will be very difficult for me to convince the investors or the lenders to that I am building something really viable, because there is an inherent belief that such sophisticated technologies for the developed country. So convincing investors for this kind of market is always an uphill battle. And those organizations that are supporting these entrepreneurs, funding is always be a big challenge, because since the technology is like changing very fast, we need to have like small pilots with very fast iterations. So for this, the resource access would be a very important, I would say, tipping point. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks both. And I think you raised some really good points. I've got another question around, and I'll start with you, Rashed, this time, and then go to Patricia, around what do you think organizations such as YBI, what role do you think they have in empowering young entrepreneurs to harness and make the most out of these emerging technologies to help grow and innovate their businesses and their business ideas?
Okay. So from the perspective of YBI, since YBI is a network of many other organizations, so what I understand is that these YBA's role will be to facilitate the other ESOs, the entrepreneurship support organizations, and build in this AI agenda or this tech agenda into their day-to-day operations. It can come in the form of capacity building. It can come in the form of access to funding for ESOs, so that they can build their own capacities. And once this kind of programs has been designed for the, let's say, digital accelerator, it can itself be hub to upskill the ESOs. So once you upskill the ESOs, then it will have a trickle-down effect on the entrepreneurs, because these ESOs would go and have the most advanced support for the entrepreneurs. I guess this is the one thing that YBI can do, will have maximum impact.
Brilliant. And Patricia, speaking within a minute, sort of any views do you think sort of organizations like YBI, what role we have played to help young entrepreneurs make the most out of these technologies to be able
I would say the same, similar to what Rashed has said, because we as well as AMI are an ESO, and so I think we play a critical role in ensuring that we're designing and deliver tailored programs that help these young people, these young entrepreneurs to start and to grow their businesses. So, for example, we provide, like I said, tech-enabled tools and training, and this is across multiple sectors. So, helping young people really take their ideas from an idea to action. Walking them through. So you have this great business idea, but so what? What does that look like to actually build that idea out into a plan that actually goes into market? And so I think that for organizations such as ours, it's really about empowering and equipping these young people with the tools, training, the resources that they need to be able to go beyond ideating to actualizing and realizing that idea into a business. And for us, we've done that using a tech and touch kind of dual methodology, where we combine in very engaging and interactive workshop sessions with a robust online learning platform and relevant business tools that are applicable for real-world implementation. And then also being able to integrate that with local case studies so that young people can actually identify, even with local role models, who they can see themselves in this person who's actually been able to build out a local business and grow it out and scale it out. And so just bringing also that real world example, real world tools that these young people can actually identify with.
Brilliant. Thank you both. Before I ask the next question, just a reminder, if anyone has any questions, please do write those down. We'll get those to those towards the end. So feel free to pop those in the window. My next question, and I think we touched upon it already, which is around how to ensure people from marginalized or disadvantaged backgrounds can have equal access to get sort of equal benefit. Just a couple of ideas, what you think are sort of the one or two things to focus on. Patricia, if you want to go first, and then Rashed, I'll ask you the same question.
Yeah, sure. And I can talk about, just our own personal experience of how we've mitigated around this challenge around connectivity. One is just using different means to deliver the content that we deliver. So it would be from, we do have an online platform, and we use, our website has been optimized for kind of low bandwidth context, so that even if you're using data, you're not using too much of the data. We also have developed a mobile app that can be downloaded. Obviously, you need a live connection to download it, but once that's downloaded, then you're able to continue to access content without necessarily requiring a live internet connection. We've been able to use SMS in contexts where young people just cannot access, online, don't have the online access. And so just being able to use SMS and to be able to reach people from, to reach young people from all backgrounds. I would say those are some of the ways that we've tried to mitigate around the challenge with connectivity.
Yeah. So like for our end, what I strongly believe is that first of all, for organizations like ours, we have to acknowledge that AI, blockchain, big data, these aren't just buzzwords. These are very real things, and we need to take action immediately. So this is the first acknowledgement that we need to do at first within the organizations. So once we acknowledge, then we also need to admit one real stuff is that all the marginalized group or all the young entrepreneurs are not at the same level of technology maturity, because their existing technology maturity will guide the next steps. So what we need to do, what has been successful in our case is that have a very tailored approach, like let's say XYZ, they are in baseline, understand their baseline and what can be achieved in next 6 months within the given resource. So just put them into a sandbox and try different things. So this is the second thing, like the multiple iterations we need to do. And also what I believe is that the technology is time to be technology, to be democratized and inclusive. So our program design, our the long-term plan and short-term plan, these needs to like take into considerations the lowest of the pyramid people or also the different layers of people. Once we activate each layer of the whole archetype, only then we will see the cumulative impact, because entrepreneurship, economic empowerment, none of these take place into isolation. There are other economic actors, there are other macro political actors who needs to be taken into consideration. So this comprehensive approach will guide the success for marginalized people. And in many cases, we consider technology in isolation. That needs to be like taken care of from now onwards.
Brilliant. Thanks, thanks, guys. And before we see if there's any questions from the audience, my last question will be around, YBI, we see young entrepreneurs as a force for good, the change makers who will address the pressing issues that we're all facing. Just love to hear, just sort of for a minute, how you think AI and other sort of tech advancements can help those social minded entrepreneurs to drive and amplify the positive impact that they're looking to achieve. Rashed, if I start with you and then hear from you, Patricia, and then we can see if there's any questions.
Sure. So the impact entrepreneurs or social and green entrepreneurs, this is like very close to my heart. We have been working with a lot of talented young social and green entrepreneurs. And so they start with the purpose and then profit comes secondary. So AI and all the technologies that are around there, what I understand is that at first the entrepreneurs need to realize their own set of strengths. It's like their sort of introspection. So only when they understand their own strength, then they can match different resources deployed by YBI. So the reason I'm saying that is that in many cases, we start with the use case of the certain technology as opposed to understanding what we require. Because when we start the impact journey, or like be it a social entrepreneur, be it a green entrepreneur, so we have a certain impact goals in our mind. So technology needs to be, let's let it AI, blockchain, needs to be an enabler of that achievement of impact, that amplifier, not the other way around. So once a young entrepreneur has got that clarity of her or his impact, then they will be in a best place to use any technology that comes that comes, because AI will only be a vehicle back then as opposed to AI running the entrepreneurs. So that's my 2 cents on this part.
Brilliant. No, really, really good point. Thanks, Rashed. And then, yeah, Patricia, any final sort of thoughts on that question?
Yeah, I think this point around amplification, you'll find young people have, they have all these great ideas, and like Rashed said earlier, they're solving for problems usually that they themselves are feeling, right? But sometimes the challenge they have is how to fund for these brilliant ideas that they come up with. And I think that's where AI and technology come in to support that, because if they are, able to get matched on, AI-driven platforms, AI-driven funding platforms where they can source for investors or grants and resources that are tailored to their specific projects. They're able to ensure, access to capital that can then help them scale their solutions, because they're getting funded they're getting matched rather to funders who care about the same causes, right? So they can use AI and technology to be able to match kind of the solution that they have with a funder that is able to meet that solution. And I think also just the ability for AI and tech to bring together like-minded individuals, whether it's on networking or collaboration platforms, where they're then able to, again, even meet up with people from all sorts of global, different global actors, where they can either foster partnerships or share knowledge, interact with knowledge hubs where they're able to find information that would help them even build out more sustainable solutions, and embed best practices just to be more efficient even with their solution. So I think there's a lot of powerful things that AI and technology can do around funding, networking, collaboration, to be able to amplify these amazing business ideas.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. And yeah, thanks for sharing your thoughts, particularly from your local context. And as we finish up, one of the sort of main questions and themes coming up is, with the Global Summit coming up as well, what are the things that you're hoping to discuss around AI and any other technologies that we've discussed in Nairobi? So as we gather around members from across the globe, what are the sort of one or two things that you're looking to discuss around this topic with other members when you're there? Rashed, feel free to.
Yeah, so I was waiting for Patricia. So yeah, so probably my top priority will be to understand how other fellow members like Patricia or other fellow members are using AI to solve the most critical problems, not just for the entrepreneurs, but also for the community they belong to. This is one thing. And second, that I'll be really looking forward to hearing is what is failing. Like, what are there some of the failed projects that didn't fly? Because once I have like very strong understanding of the lesson learned, probably I won't repeat those mistakes. So this saves some of my limited resources. Yeah, these will be the top two priorities I'll be looking forward to.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rashed.
Yeah, those are great, Rashed. Looking forward to that as well. I would say for me also just hearing the stories from the entrepreneurs themselves, the young entrepreneurs who've been impacted by, different programs, whether through YBI, AMI, or other YBI members, just to hear their impact stories and to hear more about specifically those who've used AI and technology, and just to see the impact that has had on their businesses and on the solutions that they're working on. I think those live stories are always just really fascinating, inspiring.
Fantastic. Thank you both, and look forward to seeing you in Nairobi and with others as well. I think it's a great opportunity, and I know it's something that's top of mind for a lot of people. So I think particularly how we can collectively look at opportunities, that's something particularly in my role that I'm looking at. What are the things that the network needs based in sort of local young entrepreneur needs? So I just want to say really thank you so much for your time today. Apologies for the slight tech issue at the start, but we got there. And yeah, I look really forward to seeing you guys in person in less than 2 weeks. So thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.